Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Guru Medeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishwaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandhadami Bhagavat Gite Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedaihi Sankabadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Dadgatena Manasam Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidusudha Sudaganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Namaste everyone. Once again. Those who not mark the attendance, please do so.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste. See, what has been happening is, people don't inform me, they don't attend the class, and then when I go back to them, they say, we are very sorry, we will not repeat it again. But they invariably keep on repeating this. That shows the seriousness of their, attending the class. If they have nothing else to do, they attend this class. That is what is my take on that. And I have exhausted my quota of accepting sorries, apologies, and speaking. A Vedantin should never ever be sorry about anything in life. Everything he must do it very consciously, with full awareness he must be doing. That is what shows you your spiritual pursuit. If you are not serious about it, nobody is forcing you, compelling you to come and sit in the class for 1 hour. I say, keep on telling, even 2 students, 1 student is enough for me. I'll be very happy to teach, share whatever I have learned. So again, I'm telling all of you, if you don't inform, if you don't attend the class without informing, then I will be forced to withdraw your name without even asking you. And then later on, you come back and say, sorry, Puri and all that. It's not going to work. And second thing is, occasionally 1 or 2 classes you may not be able to attend because of some reasons. But it cannot be that continuously you don't attend the class and you say, I will not attend today's class, I will not attend today's class. That is also not going to help. Suppose you have not attended 3 classes, you will lose the entire line of thinking, the teaching itself. What's the point of attending the 4th class? There won't be any point. So I'm going to watch that also, without even by informing. If people are being continuously absent, that is also a matter of concern, which I will be filtering all those kind of students also. So I just wanted to let you know this. in today's class, because even after tightening, things do not seem to have improved much. There is an improvement, no doubt, but still I have some concerns. Okay, right then. Let us get into the subject matter. सांख्य योग पृथक भाला है, प्रवदंति न पंडिता है, एकमप्यास्थित सम्यक उभयोर्विन्दते फलम. So we are seeing the fourth sloka of the fifth chapter. And Krishna, sensing that Arjuna is still confused about the choice of the lifestyle he should make between Grihastha Ashrama and Sannyasa Ashrama, highlights the fact in this sloka that it is immaterial what lifestyle one chooses, because both lifestyles can lead to the end goal of gaining jnana. Both the ashramas, Grihastha Ashrama and Sannyasa Ashrama, are equally efficacious. Of course, the challenges will be different for both the ashramas. Those challenges will need to be met. But prima facie, the choice of Grihastha Ashrama or Sannyasa Ashrama is irrelevant, immaterial. And here he points out that only ignorant people think that these two ashramas are different and not the wise ones. And by resorting to any one of them properly, one attains the results of both. Therefore, he says, Ekam api astitaha. Even though both the ashramas have got their pluses and minuses, one need not go into an in-depth analysis and waste time in making the choice. Therefore, a seeker can take to any one of the lifestyles according to one's inclination. Of course, no doubt, one's prarabdha also plays a role. That is why in the Jatakam, horoscope and all, the astrologers can read into it and say this is a sannyasi Jatakam. It is shown, I mean, in the prarabdha, if there is a sannyasi yoga, then the inclination of that person to take sannyasa ashrama may be more. That's why even in mathas and all, like Kanchipuram Matam, Sringeri Matam and all, when they choose the Shishya means not students like you and me, they are the successors of the Mathatipatis. Lot of criteria they employ, that family, character, age, so many things, including inclination, spiritual inclination, the religious inclination, knowledge, what studies, how many years spent in Gurukula or in Patashala, knowledge of Sanskrit, very good knowledge of Sanskrit. All the Mathatipatis, they have to uphold the culture and the heritage of our Hindu culture. And in the process, they also see the horoscope, the Jatakam, because even in the horoscope, sannyasa is indicated. Therefore, so many factors are there influencing a person's ashrama also. A person may have a very, very ardent desire to choose sannyasa ashrama, but if it is not supported by prarabdha, it will not be possible. In fact, formal sannyasa ashrama may not be possible. So that person will have to choose grihastha, but then the grihastha life he can redesign in such a way that he is actually leading a life of a grihastha sannyasa. It is possible, very much possible. Grihastha sannyasa is like having the best of both the worlds. Whenever grihastha responsibility is attractive, you jump to grihastha ashrama. Whenever sannyasa duties are attractive, jump to sannyasa ashrama. You can literally ride on two boats. Of course, one needs to develop the necessary inclination. One needs to the attitude, viveka, vairagya, etc. All needs to be developed. Therefore, according to your prarabdha, according to your inclination, take to any ashrama. But what is important is one has to stick to it sincerely. A grihastha sannyasi is not a matter of convenience. It should be a matter of conviction. There are circumstances in which I am not able to completely renounce my grihastha duties, but at the same time, my inclination is toward reclusion. Therefore, I will continue to perform my grihastha duties to the best extent possible, whereas my spiritual inclination, my spiritual goal will be, being a recluse, keeping myself away actively as much as possible from the grihastha duties. All this, of course, as I said, one has to have conviction, sincerity, etc. Therefore, mere external changes like shaving the hair, wearing saffron robes, etc., they do not matter. What is important is the inner transformation. Therefore, ekamapya stitaha. Krishna says, following any ashrama efficiently, samyak ubayor vindate phalam. A person will get the result very well. Result which is common to both the ashramas. And what is the result common to both the ashramas? Jnana. Knowledge, self-knowledge. So jnanam is the common goal of a grihastha also. Jnanam is the common goal of a sannyasi also. This is what Krishna is advising Arjuna. Don't waste your time. Don't get confused over whether I should be a grihastha or I should be a sannyasi. Of course, he has already told, given Arjuna's background, given Arjuna's present stage in life, he should choose grihasthashram. Continuing, yat sankhya prapyate sthanam tadyogairapi gamyate ekam sankyam cha yogam cha yah pashyati sa pashyati. Anvaya of the sloka is tat sthanam yat prapyate sankhyahi gamyate yogaihi api saha yah pashyati sankyam cha yogam cha ekam pashyati. Tat sthanam, that goal. What is the goal? Jnanam, knowledge. Yat prapyate, which is attained. Sankhyahi, by the sannyasis. Gamyate is reached. Yogaihi api, by karma yogis also. Means grihasthas also. Saha yaha pashyati, who understands this, who sees this. What? Sankyam cha yogam cha, sannyasa and karma yoga, ekam, as the same in effect, pashyati, he sees properly, his understanding is correct. So that goal which is attained by sannyasis is attained by karma yogis also. He who sees sannyasa and karma yoga as the same in effect, he properly sees, he properly understands. So here again, Krishna is reinforcing the same idea, pointing out that Sankhya hi sthanam prapyate. We have already seen Sankhya means sannyasina. Sthanam means what? Jnanam followed by moksha. Sannyasis do attain moksha by following karma yoga and jnana yoga, purificatory sadhanas as well as sadhanas for knowledge. In an earlier class, I think 2 classes before, I think, we have briefly discussed the purificatory sadhanas of sannyasis. Sannyasis also have got karma yoga responsibilities. They have also got their ashrama karmani, which is indicated by their danda, as I mentioned to you. Just as for other people, the sacred thread represents their religious sadhanas, for a sannyasi, the sacred thread is replaced by a stick, by a danda. And they have to perform danda tarpanam, japa, parayana, guru sushrusha, etc. Because this chitta shuddhi process has to be a continuous process. And through all these sadhanas, they will continue to clean, to make their mind purer and purer and purer. And not only chitta shuddhi, they have to study the shastra also. Therefore, sannyasis attain moksha by purifying and also by knowing. Now, anticipating that, Arjuna will now say, okay, if there is no difference between the two, Krishna, you say there is no difference between the two. What a sannyasi attains, the grihastha also attains. Even though you are advising me to become a grihastha, I want to become a sannyasi. Well, I'm not sure about the grihastha, though you say all that. Therefore, Krishna hastens to add, Tat yogaihi api gamyate. Grihasthas also get the same result. So don't think that by choosing grihastha you are going to be short-changed. You will get the same result. Tat means here, tat sthanam, moksham, goal, lakshyam. Same destination can be reached by yogaihi also. Yogaihi means here, grihastha ashramavihi. Grihastha ashrama people also. Sankhyahi, sannyasa ashramavihi, turiya ashramavihi. So, sannyasi bihi yat moksham sthanam prapyate, tattevam moksham sthanam grihastha ashramabihi api prapyate. And can you say sannyasa's moksha is a little better than grihastha's moksha? Sannyasa moksha is A grade moksha, grihastha's moksha is B grade moksha. No, moksha is always one. It is not. Moksha is infinite, right? Moksha is understanding, assimilating that the knowledge that one is limitless. So it is not that sannyasis will get a bigger infinite and I will get a smaller infinite. Infinite is infinite. There are no two infinites. And there is no difference in moksha. So tat yogaihi api gamyate. Therefore, sankyam cha yogam cha ekam bhavati. Therefore, both sannyasa ashrama and grihastha ashrama are ekam. Ekam means here we have to take it as eka phalakam. Same result they give. Therefore, ekam iti yaha pashyati. One who sees this fact, ashramayoho ekaphalatvam yaha pashyati, saha pashyati. That person alone truly sees. And all other people have got a wrong perception. And what is the purpose of Krishna emphasizing all these things? Krishna knows from all the conversation that he has had, from Arjuna's demeanor, that Arjuna somehow wants to run away from the battlefield to avoid killing his kith and kin. And Krishna wants Arjuna to fight the war because that is Arjuna's swadharma as a Kshatriya. And Krishna knows that if he says sannyasa ashrama is superior, Arjuna immediately will latch on to it and will run away. Therefore, Krishna said the one who sees both as equal, he alone has got the right vision. And therefore, Arjuna, do not trouble your intellect too much to decide whether this is better or that is better. Have the right vision that both are equal. Now go to the next sloka. Excuse me. Sannyaasastu mahabhaho dukkhamaptumayo gataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena gacchati. Anvaya is, he mahabhaho, sannyasah dukkham aptum ayogataha tu munihi yoga yuktah brahma adhigacchati na chirena. He mahabhaho, Arjuna, sannyasa, sannyasa ashrama, dukkham aptum is difficult to attain, ayogataha, without karma yoga, tu munihi, but the devout, yoga yuktaha, karma yogi, brahma adhigacchati, attains Brahman, na chirena, before long. O Arjuna, sannyasa is difficult to attain without karma yoga, but the devout karma yogi attains Brahman before long. So here, Krishna is adding a new information. Until now, he said both ashramas are equally efficacious if looked at objectively. Therefore, one need not be anxious about choosing the ashrama incorrectly. For example, a university may offer different choices with relation to choosing a subject matter for a master's degree, let's say. Now, can one say physics is superior or chemistry is superior or mathematics is superior or economics is superior? We can never say that one science or one subject matter is superior to the other, because every science has got its own advantages and it has got its own disadvantages. As far as utility is concerned, all the sciences are equally useful. Everybody who completes his master's degree in any discipline will find a career suited to that knowledge, suited to that studies, suited to that learning, isn't it? Even when we take our own life and observe it closely, every moment chemistry is involved, isn't it? Our entire digestive system, chemistry only is happening. Physics is involved. Even for us to stand up, physics is involved. Mathematics is involved. Our whole life contains everything. Economics is involved. So even though all of them are involved and all of them are equal, if I have to choose one of them, a particular one may be good for me because of my mental makeup, inclination, etc. Objectively, the sciences are neither inferior nor superior. But my mental makeup, my preferences may make one of them more conducive to me. Therefore, depending upon my personality, I may enjoy physics more, I may enjoy mathematics, or I may enjoy economics. I may enjoy statistics, I may enjoy literature, I may enjoy history, or I may even enjoy, fine arts, music, etc. Careers can be made out of any subject. Similarly, Krishna says that even though both the ashramas are equally efficacious, for a prepared and mature mind, sannyasa ashrama is more suitable, whereas for an unprepared mind, sannyasa ashrama may not suit, not because the ashrama has got some problem, but because of my own mental immaturity. Because in sannyasa, one will often find oneself alone. Now, many people have got a confusion between two expressions: being alone and being lonely. These two are not the same. People who crave for relationships, who are emotionally driven, who always look to others for support, they may find sannyasa ashrama to be lonely. Therefore, a person can miss companionship. We often read, isn't it? People 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, they get married. For what purpose? They are not going to set up a family marrying at that age. It is only for companionship. In fact, a person can become more and more lonely as a person grows more and more old. And it can lead to tremendous depression. Most of the people, this is what happens. There is a age you get married, middle age, you set up a family, you have with children, your wife, spouse rather, I would put it, common. Other relationships, everything is there. As you become older and older, what happens? First children, they grow up, they go away. You and your spouse have lived together so long that you don't want to see each other's face. Just joking, it's not it's with everyone. But even if you are together, everything is there, physically you are unable to give the same care to the spouse which you used to give earlier. Both of you have become busy in your own activities. All these things cumulatively lead to a certain loneliness feeling. Staying in Grihastha having all the opportunities, if you can develop that feeling of loneliness, what to talk of sannyasa ashrama? Where you will go to some hermitage or some ashram and sit in one corner under a tree or in some room separately. People around you all will be of the same type. They will not engage with each other. So, for a person who is emotionally driven, who is looking for company, talking to people, discussing about the various problems of the world. Sannyasa ashrama can be a big punishment. Whereas there are persons who like to be alone. They never complain about loneliness. They prefer the quiet, serene life of an ashram or a hermitage. In fact, they have a wider vision. In the case of the first category people, emotionally driven people, they have loneliness with respect to other human relationships only. Their vision does not go beyond the human beings. Or you can extend it little bit to the pets and all that, like dogs, cats, whatever pet one prefers. But the second category people, they don't feel lonely because they find themselves to be one with the nature. For them, every tree, every twig, every leaf is a companion. Animals are companions. They enjoy being in the company of flora and fauna. They may be alone, but never lonely. In fact, they tend to the flora, fauna, even animals for that matter, friendly animals. Lot of compassion, lot of love. So, they may be alone, but never lonely. So, for some, silence may be wonderful. For others, silence may be cause for tremendous depression. For one, the silence of a Gurukulam or an ashram is bliss. The others will term it as silence of the grave. So these two types of people are there. So we have to decide. A mature person can be alone but never lonely. An immature person will always feel he is lonely. Bhartrihari, author of a famous Niti Shatakam, he says, a silent place is a blessing for a mature person. He will grab that opportunity to contemplate on Atma Brahman. But the very same silent place for another person can rake up sorts of troublesome thoughts. It can be trigger for surfacing of all inner problems, and one may even go crazy. Therefore, Krishna says to enjoy sannyasa ashrama, one requires a certain maturity level of the mind, which is not that easy to get. So he says, Hey Mahabaho, O Arjuna, sannyasa dukkam aptum. Enjoying a sannyasa way of life is not that easy. Even though when we have problems all over, we may think that one has to escape from this. But generally, a person who is unhappy in Grihastha ashrama and jumps to sannyasa ashrama, it will be just like jumping from frying pan to the fire. If everything is fine, if one feels that he has fulfilled all his duties of Grihastha ashrama and one quits, then that is maturity. But if one quits when there is a problem, that is escapism. Therefore, dukkham aptum ayogataha. Ayogataha means the one who is not practice karma yoga. Sannyasa is difficult to attain without karma yoga. Whereas yoga yukto munihi, here munihi means a contemplative minded person who loves seclusion. One who has got such a mind is called munihi. In fact, the word muni in Sanskrit language has got two derivations. Mananat munihi, maunat munihi. Mananat munihi means the one who has got a contemplative mind. Maunat munihi means the one who enjoys maunam, silence. Not only external silence, one who enjoys internal silence. One who enjoys an unagitated mind. Because in sannyasa ashram, as I said, there is no scope, not much scope for conversations. Why, you may be alone, or even if you are in the company of other sannyasis, everybody is of the same type. Everybody is enjoying maunam. So they don't want to get into conversations. And for many people, it is difficult not to talk. There is an inner urge, which is a very natural urge to talk. If you want the live demonstration of that, I see it whenever I go to the dining hall. They are waiting outside the dining hall to be let in. Talk, 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 talk. Enter the dining hall, they will go and sit in groups so that they can continue the talk which they have been. So much of noise pollution you will experience when you go to the dining hall in a place like Nana, Nani and all, or anywhere, even in marriages, you see. So for many people, it is difficult not to talk. If there is nobody else to talk, sometimes they will start talking to themselves. You might have seen. So for most people, they have a constant urge to talk. They will talk about everything in the world, whether Israel did the right thing by attacking Hamas, or whether Indian cricket team should have opted for fielding after winning the toss, or whether two film stars should get married or not, or whether some particular character in a TV serial should have behaved differently. They will talk about all these things, everything. 99% of the cases, the people who are sharing these views and these discussions will not be able to do anything about what they are discussing. They know very well. Suppose the conclusion of the discussion is that Israel did not do the right thing by attacking Hamas. What are you guys going to do about it? Otherwise also, if Israel did the right thing, what are you going to do about it? Why are you wasting your time, your precious time as a human being, talking about all these things, discussing, as if you are some great scholar? People think that the more subjects they know in the world, in the materialistic world, they are all big scholars. All irrelevant things, unnecessary things. But the urge to talk is so much, they will find subjects totally unrelated to them to strike a conversation. For such people, sannyasa ashrama will be a very, very big burden. They will go crazy in sannyasa ashrama. Therefore, munihi means the one who enjoys maunam, the one who enjoys contemplation. So that a person who has got a contemplative mind, yoga yukta hai. How does he get a contemplative mind? Krishna says yoga yukta hai, by practice of yoga. Here yoga means not Ashtanga yoga. Ashtanga yoga also helps. Karma yoga also. Karma yoga is the main sadhana. In fact, as I told in one of the earlier classes, Ashtanga yoga also comes under the definition of Karma yoga only. Bhakti, prayer, puja, everything you can collapse it into one definition, Karma yoga. That yoga you can practice either in this life or you could have practiced in the previous life. It doesn't matter. These are all carried forward balances. Once you have practiced the Karma yoga for a sufficient period of time with all commitment, sincerity, it forms certain vasanas and those vasanas are carried forward. So the one who has prepared the mind through the appropriate sadhanas, Saha Munihi Brahma Adhigacchati. Such a person will attain Brahman, will attain moksha. When Nachirena, before long. That person will attain moksha before long. And therefore, Krishna's advice is that for majority of the people, Grihastha is ideal, and for a small minority, Sannyasa ashrama is ideal. And also, before deciding on taking Sannyasa ashrama, a person should first examine if he is fit for sannyasa or not. And that is why I told earlier also that invariably sannyasa diksha is given or sannyasa is taken with the advice and recommendations of a guru who knows about the fitness of the person for sannyasa. So when there is concurrence between Shishya and Guru, then alone sannyasa is given. Therefore, Krishna's advice is Grihastha is safe for a majority of people. Now Krishna continues. We'll see the 7th sloka. The same theme he is just, from different standpoints, he's trying to explain to Arjuna. Because he feels that Arjuna has not understood what has been taught to him in chapters 2, 3, and 4. So here Krishna takes the opportunity. Same message I will try to tell Arjuna from different perspectives. So at least one perspective he will understand. So next sloka. Yoga yukto vijitatma. Yoga yukto Yoga yukto vishuddhatma. Vijitatma jitendriya. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma. Kurvannapi na lipyate. Anvaya is yoga yukta hai, vishuddha atma, vijita atma, jita indriya hai, sarva bhuta atma, kurvan api na lipyate. Yoga yukta hai, ya karma yogi. Vijita atma, jitendriya hai, having mastered the body and sense organs. Vishuddhatma, the pure-minded. But Vishuddhatma, you can put it earlier also. Yoga Yukta, Vishuddhatma, Vijitatma, Jitendriya, in the same sequence. Then Sarva Bhutatma, Bhutatma. Such a person who is Yoga Yukta, Vijitatma, Jitendriya, Vishuddhatma becomes the Atma, which is the self of all things. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. The Atma, which is the self of all things, Kurvan Napi, though he is doing lot of actions, though acting, na lipyate, he is not affected. the actions do not taint him. So having mastered the body and sense organs, the pure-minded karma yogi becomes the Atma, which is the self of all beings. Though acting, he is not affected. So, up to the 6th verse, Krishna made a comparative study of both the ashramas. And he said that both ashramas have got plus and minus points. Both ashramas are equally efficient. But for majority, life of activity is better. With this, he concludes the topic of the lifestyles with the previous sloka. Now, in this sloka, Krishna talks about the sadhanas which everyone has to practice irrespective of the lifestyle, wherein there is no option at all. Because we saw earlier, there is no option with regard to the sadhanas, there is option with regard to the lifestyle. Now, when there is an option regarding to the lifestyle, Krishna has analyzed the pluses and minuses of both the lifestyles and come to the conclusion in advising Arjuna that for most people, Grihastha Ashrama should be the chosen lifestyle. With that, that lifestyle topic is over. Now he has told Yoga Yukta hai, a Karma Yogi. Now he talks about all those sadhanas which everyone has to practice irrespective of the lifestyle, whether it's Grihastha Ashrama or Sannyasa Ashrama, where there is no option at all. Grihastha also must go through these set of sadhanas. A sannyasi must also go through these set of sadhanas. And what are these stages? Krishna very beautifully condenses those 4 stages in this verse. So it's a verse of sadhanas. What are we supposed to do? Whether we are a grihastha or a sannyasi. And here, Krishna talks about a grihastha only because he has been all along talking about stages of sadhanas. And he has already said grihastha ashrama is more preferable for Arjuna. Therefore, he expounds what all stages a grihastha should go through. First stage, he says, Yoga Yukta hai. Yoga Yukta hai means Karma Yoga Yukta hai. One should become a Karma Yogi. What type of Karma Yogi? He described it in the 3rd chapter. You should recall. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. Krishna talked about that in the 3rd chapter and he gave 5-point program. And we saw the 5 factors or conditions which make a karma yogi. We discussed it at length in this when discussing this sloka. As we have discussed, a karma yogi is one who balances materialistic pursuits and spiritual pursuits. A karma yogi is one who does not spend the whole day in earning money only. Unlike most people whose whole life is dedicated to material pursuits and who say that they have no time for religion, no time for scriptural study. Even after retirement, they continue to do what they have been doing all their life. Why do they call it retirement? I cannot understand. There is a purpose for which the society has fixed a retirement age. 58 years or 60 years or 65 years, whatever be the age. At that stage, you are expected to hang your boots, not to tie the laces once again and start running. So such people, they have got time for everything else in life. but they have no time for what the most important aspect of life is. Then we discussed that the Karma Yogi knows that every individual is a mixture of matter and spirit. Atma, the spirit, and Anatma, the matter. Dehi is the spirit, Deha is the matter. We are all a mixture of both of them. That means our life should have a balance between spiritual pursuit and mental pursuit. Material pursuit. And therefore, I should find time for Panchamahayajnas. You have not been able to do it throughout your working life. Now that you have retired, you have got all the time in the world. Why don't you start? It is never ever late to start. Mind you, whatever life is left, whatever you are going to do in that period of life of what is left, you are going to form new samskaras. And those samskaras you are going to carry forward to your next life. You have earned enough money. Earn good samskaras for your future life. Earn good punyas for your future life. That is what retirement should mean for every person who has been working for 30 years, 40 years. So I should find time for Panchamahayajnas, which again Krishna mentioned in the 3rd chapter. And this spiritual growth is meant for my inner growth. I have grown externally. I have got so many bungalows, so many houses, so many cars. I have grown externally, children, grandchildren, everything. Now it is time for my inner growth. There is nothing wrong with what you have done throughout your life till now. Nothing wrong to have many activities for material acquisitions. As I have been telling, Veda encourages it. Arthakama pradhana, Arthakama purusharthas, Veda encourages. He says, Grihastha follow all that. Earn as much money as possible. Now, nobody stops you, but in a legitimate, in a dharmic way. But a human being should also pursue 2 more important purusharthas, dharma and moksha. Now, Veda poses a question. Are you balancing between the 2 sets of purusharthas? It should go in such a way that initially the material pursuit may be more, spiritual pursuit may be less. Because there are lots of responsibilities in the initial stages with regard to the family, relations, job, business, etc., for which material resources are required. But as one advances in age, that proportion should gradually change. The proportion of spirituality must be gradually increased. Gradually, the spiritual pursuit should become more and more dominant. And the last stage of life, there should be only spirituality, spirituality, and spirituality alone. No thought about bank balances, investments, stock markets, real estate, nothing. And this is the scheme of the Vedas. That is how Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa ashramas are designed. Whether you physically go through the 4 ashramas or not, mentally you must traverse this path and attain inner growth. And not only you have to work in that direction, but you should also pray to the Lord. Oh Lord, I must be able to gradually urvadrukamiva bandhanat brityor mukshiyamamritaat. Just as a ripe melon detaches itself from the what is that term? They're not getting
Creeper.
creeper. From the creeper. Just as a raw mango ripens Until it ripens, it holds on to the tree. Once it ripens, it falls. In the same way, initially I am stuck in all these worldly things and finite and minor things. But a time must come, I naturally detach from the finite and materialistic things. I must develop sufficient vairagyam. And that is why we pray to Annapurneshwari Devi, Annapurne Sadapurne Shankara Pranavallabhe, Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartam, Bhikshan Dehi Cha Parvati. Only two things we are asking. Jnanam and Vairagyam, most important thing for spiritual pursuit. And this is balancing between material goals and spiritual goals. And this is called Yoga Yuktatvam. That is why what I am is more important than what I have. Initial stages, we have only bothered about what I have, whether we want it or not. Just to show off to the world, I acquire them. The neighbor has a 3-bedroom house, I should have a 4-bedroom house. The neighbor has an ordinary car, I should have a SUV. Comparison and status symbol become more important than actual utility. So I am more bothered about what I have, less bothered about what I am, but this should change. What I am should become more and more important. My peace does not depend upon what I have. My peace depends upon what I am. My security does not depend upon what I have, but my security depends upon what I am. My happiness does not depend upon what I have, but my happiness depends upon what I am. A karma yogi focuses on this principle. And having focused on this principle, he dedicates all his actions to the Lord as a puja, Ishwararpana Buddhya. He does every action as a dedication to the Lord and receives every result of action as Ishwara Prasada. So these are the 3 conditions which make a karma yogi: giving priority to spiritual growth, dedicating the very life as an offering to the Lord, and accepting every experience as prasadam from the Lord. Such a person is called Yoga Yukta. And what is the result of this sadhana? This sadhana changes the personality. What I am becomes different. While the society is going to measure your success in terms of your possessions, Vedanta measures your success in terms of your personality transformation. Karma Yoga may not bring success from the society standpoint, but Karma Yoga brings success from the Vedanta standpoint. And this transformation will eventually lead to liberation or moksha. So ultimately, a liberated person possesses what? There is a beautiful work of Adi Shankara, which is less known, of course. It's called Yati Panchakam or Kaupina Panchakam. There he says, Moolam taroho kevalam ashrayantah panidvayam bhoktum amantrayantah sriyam cha kanthamiva kutsayantah kaupinavantah khalu bhagyavantah. Shankaracharya describes a jnani who does not possess anything at all, but still he is a purna, complete. Therefore, ultimately what matters is not what I have, but what I am. And if this is understood, I have made the right beginning to become a karma yogi. And this karma yogi will gradually become what? Krishna says, Vishuddhatma. He will get a purer mind where Vairagyam becomes more and more. We will see that more in the next case. Om Purnamada Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Say Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you all very much. Dhanyavadaha. I hope everybody has marked the attendance.
Yes, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Guruji,
Yes.
you mentioned about the kind of discussion that goes on in the dining hall as an example, Mauni. Now, if let us say you don't take part and you just ignore and carry on, don't you think the others will look at this arrogant guy?
Maybe let them.
Mm.
So what? You know what you are. How does it matter whether you get certificate from XYZ about you? The only person you should get certificate from is your guru.
True.
Other people don't matter at all. We get caught in this problem, our life, all our sorrows, miseries, grief is because of that. We are looking to please others, get certified by others, get validated by others, without realizing that everyone has got their own personality, their own way of looking at things. So for me, what matters is what I am as per my understanding. Let them think I am arrogant, let them think I am stupid, let them think that I am whatever it is, I mean, they may think.
Correct, yeah.
In fact, many people will even avoid you rather.
That will
Because
depend
you are
upon
a
the type
fool.
of conversation.
Huh?
That will depend upon the type of conversation that we indulge in.
That's quite true. But normally what happens in a dining table and all, a person with knowledge of a person, spiritual person will never talk about spirituality. Because he knows that is not the place where you should talk about spirituality. Spirituality is not for advertisement. It is not for converting people into his beliefs or anything.
That is self-consumption.
That's for self-consumption. So, he will not discuss spirituality in front of 10 people. He will see which audience is there. Then he will discuss spirituality.
True.
So, what happens? People will say, oh, this fellow, if I go to him, they will not even have talked to him, but they will assume that he will only talk about spirituality. And they have absolutely no clue about all these things. They will never even come near him. It's not a boycott. It's just that they will leave him alone. And that actually, again, is a very great advantage as I see. When they leave you alone, they are not dragging you into their level of discussion, their level of intellectual, whatever, exercise they are doing. Leave you alone means you can do what you want to. Your thoughts can be what it is, not necessarily driven by what these people. I mean, there is so much, people don't, of course, when I say all these things, I am very aware that it is most people, 95% people will find all this to be impractical, which is fine. Everybody goes through these stages. Coming to this stage of spirituality itself is not some accident or some. There are so many, as I said, even prarabdha plays a very big role in this. So you are automatically driven to it. You might have had, I can tell you honestly, in front of few students, I can admit, I was a chain smoker.
Oh, is it?
I was a person who used to relish attending parties, drinking, things like that.
Oh.
That was the life I used to lead as a materialistic person chasing money. Then a sudden change came.
Total transformation.
Total transformation. And in fact, to share with you one more input. Long ago, I think I mentioned about that astrologer, 1974-75. When I
You
was
talked about the ancient hand.
hands, right?
Yeah.
That astrologer told me one thing, that in your advanced age, you will become exactly opposite of what you are now. I never understood what it meant. I mean, what do you mean? Opposite of what you are means what? I have no clue about spirituality, no clue about Vedanta, nothing.
It is called 180 degrees phase shift.
Yeah, he told me that. And he even told me that you will have separation from your spouse.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, when you say when a guy is not married, and somebody is telling you will be separated from your spouse, what should a person will imagine? Will I get married? Separation means will I die, or my spouse will die, or we will get
Divorce.
divorce. But today, practically, there is a separation happening, but nothing of this kind. My wife is pursuing, she's staying in Bombay, doing what she likes to do, what she loves to do. Big house is there, comfortable with all, maids and servants and whatnot. I am happy staying in Coimbatore, doing what I like doing, pursuing spiritual practice and also teaching and things like that and all. It is not that I cannot do that in Bombay, but I find that this atmosphere in this Nana Nani is more conducive for that. There means I will be deliberately or forcefully, sucked into so many visits, marriages and things like that and all. But that does not mean that we have got absolutely any misunderstanding between, we have got absolute total understanding between us. She appreciates my viewpoint, I appreciate her viewpoint. I let her do what she feels happy about, and she lets me do what I am happy about. We travel together. I go to Bombay, she comes here. Some time we spend together. But then again, what is the purpose of staying together if it is going to end up in fighting?
Perhaps the separation creates more attraction.
Yeah, exactly. So when we are together, maybe sometimes I'm so busy I won't even talk to her there in Bombay. But here every day we talk to each other on phone.
Absolutely, yes.
So as you say, we have to have a more mature understanding. If you tell common people, oh, this fellow and the wife are separated, there is some problem between them, all that guesswork will go.
Gossip.
Yeah, but then, both of us, we don't care. What people talk, we don't care. We know what we are, honestly. Right? So that way, life goes on. So what we have to bother about, what I am, I know what I am. And
But
who matters?
Guruji, one modern theory, especially when you become a senior citizen, they say you should keep getting into some dialogues to keep the brain cells active.
Correct.
Of course, that depends what is the quality of discussion.
I can have a dialogue with Shastra.
True.
That's what I do. Today I started studying Mandukya Upanishad, this Shankara Bhashya.
Oh.
Now, when I study that, lot of things which I might have not understood properly when I studied it in the Gurukulam, I may be able to,
appreciate it better.
I am more knowledgeable because of the teaching also. Now I have read Bhagavad Gita and this, that. So with that, I may be able to appreciate a lot more what Adi Shankara says in that. So I have a conversation with myself, with the Shastra. So that is okay. Because what is important is intellectually keeping your mind and brain active. It is just like any part of the body. Old people, they are asked to go for walks. Some exercises you do. Why? You don't do this for 7 days, you will know. You will not be able to get up from bed.
True, absolutely true.
So every day, this has to be done. Similarly, to keep your mind alert and also your brain active, you need some intellectual activity. It should be satisfying. So there are ways. You don't need to have conversation with others. You can have, no doubt. Like for example, right now we are doing that only, isn't it? For me, 20 students in the class to converse with twice a week is more than enough, rather. I learned a lot of things, learn a lot of things from what you say, and I try to pass on what I have learned. There is an exchange of meaningful information, not just talking for the sake of talking. So all these things we have to understand. Karma Yogi is one who has understood all this and he has matured. That is what we have. Our takeaway should be from all these teachings of Krishna. So it's very practical teaching, rather,
Absolutely, yes.
Very practical. So that is that.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Any other question? Astiva.
Thank you very much, Guruji, for a beautiful session. It was wonderful listening to you. Thank you very much. Pranam, Guruji.
Pranam. Thank you. So no more questions. Can I close the session?
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.